I'll have to choose this location background, and it's gonna be beautiful out there on Bagar, part of the Faroe Islands, which are located in the North Atlantic Ocean and designated an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. It's connected to Streymoy, the largest of the Faroe Islands, by a bridge. This image was captured on Route 45 that travels alongside the shore west of Bagar's airport. See that, folks? The surrounding area that has a good lake and the mountains is just beautiful and perfect to be placed up to have a 3 cars will be put up to have a good model that related to the 1950s. So I'll have to choose which kinds of category to be on the concept car, as I had to go with a Chevy Corvette Stingray Racer Concept 1959 will be the first one to go place up right here. Now the second, got to go on model year, go to 1950 through 1959 and have the Ferrari 500 Mondeo Pininfarina Coupe 1954. Just have to be placed right over here, right next to the Corvette Stingray Racer Concept. And for the third one, last but not least, this will give the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Type W194 1952. Just to go colorblind and have a good classic race car to be outfit with the style of a vintage. Just have to see how it turns out and give a good creativity to have a good classic masterpiece that really to have a good 50s cars. Just have to go on steering wheel position on the arc and have the background just to have a preset effect. We'll be going on sepia. That should do well and give the exposure correction into 0.05. Give a good rendering and let the magic and see how it turns out to give a good classic on the background. Perfect example and well deserved to have a nice good kind of a picture to have a 3-car collection, which is having one concept, one Gran Turismo Pebble Beach trophy, and a classic historic race car is a beautiful example to have a good background scene location around in one of the 39 places in Faroe Island. Then let's try Streymoy. Streymoy is the largest of the Faroe Islands, located in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean. The harsh climate means there are very few trees here, and most of the island's vegetation is grass. This particular view was taken in Tórshavn, the largest city on the island and the political and economic center of the Faroes. Let's try it out, and I'll have to go with my Chevy Corvette CR1 6th generation 2009. Will be preferred to go for a main spotlight as the example will be featured on the update. But instead, I'll have to grab my C7 CR1 2019 as well. Just have to find my UDRS livery, or maybe I'll have to go and have the C8 Corvette will be placed up to go on the main spotlight. Alright, there's my UDRS Corvette on the C8. Next up, C6 CR1 will have to go back and have the filter brand on Chevy. There's my Corvette. My favorite C6 Corvette CR1 is right up here and line up in order to have the C7 Corvette CR1 2019. Just have to go on year, so I'll have to keep that in the remember. So let's give that background blurry into 4 clear, perfection, and have everything to be reorganized. Gonna have to put my guy right over here to be placed. Alright, there you go. Just have to keep a helmet visor to be remain closed and give a driver pose number 2. So there you go. Let's wait until the rendering will give a good magic touch. Beautiful and 3 of the kind of my UDRS livery for every different generation on the Corvette. That would be a very good impressive that you guys really had to get your favorite cars on 39 locations around in the Faroe Islands of Denmark. just to have a good warm of the climate, and also to have some snow environment condition that you guys really might need to take a good look by having a sightseeing tour. But very much more indeed to have a good placement on Faroe Islands as a feature curation in Scapes. As also for the next day, Weekly Challenges is about to be opened up, and have a good look for the preview because today is Friday after yesterday by having a first part to do a WIP in session, and this will have to put up to have a main part of the content video to become as my own complete edition by remaster. So look over here that we have one special event for the Renault Kenko. Will go for the 1-make race at Tsukuba Circuit in a limited time only after round 2 of the Dodge Viper at the Trial Mountain Circuit in reverse. But count me in, but I'll have to save it later on until tomorrow on Saturday. We'll have to be ready to have a 5-race event. Now I'll have to take a good look on one of the 3 new events, and here we have Sonic Cup in race number 8 by additional after Kyoto Driving Park Miyabi. But there's going to be having FF Challenge 450 on the progress to be down below on 83% along with Sonic Cup, and 85% for the European Clubman Cup 600. But it's going to be take place for Tokyo Expressway Central counterclockwise for having a feature on the Mazda CX-30 X Smart Edition 2021 and for the Vantage 2018. Deep Forest Raceway Reverse located in Switzerland. Speaking of which, my current progress on event directory to be down below on 93%. I'll have to add 3 events will be put up onto the full walkthrough in the future update after visiting to alternate Norwood. So let's go with a normal custom race, proceed onto the Grand Prix circuit, and have my OCs will be calling out to have an InSportTech Road Car Series will be put up to the test, and have everything to be reorganized to have the same grid on the garage to be selected. But I know, I'm just really gonna have to be missing out all the fun out there on GT Sobi 2.1 on custom race. But I'll have to get down to have some 2 cars to be switched up on the J Sisters on J Lee and J Reed Diamond. So let's go on to the manufacturer and grab Porsche for J Reed Diamond, and have the 911 Turbo S Type 992 2020, and also for J Lee Diamond is still remain to be using on the Ferrari F430 2006. It's going well, professional level, might have to be switched into intermediate level. Will be prepared for having a 4th generation Vantage will be stepping into the racetrack. My OCs are about to be joining session and have a good run on vehicle test number 1. Will feel to listen to the nice BA engine on the turbocharged type aspiration. But hopefully that will be a very much more next big thing after the 3rd generation BA Vantage S was introduced since 2005 and in production in 2017. But furthermore, it's a very good impressive sports car. For the update is very much more indeed to have some different version, its outfit, and go pack up to have a nice handling performance to go test it up around in Brands Hatch Grand Prix located in the UK. Let's test this baby out and see how it feels. Listen to the BA engine in about 3 seconds and wait for the green. We'll give a traction 1 to be safely and keep a good maintained formation to go for the launch. First lap, here I come, and that will bring out to have a good position to have the first turn. We'll go on the inside apex to have a good line on the Vantage 2018. But you may notice about the engine model on the Aston Martin Vantage 2018. It also comes in with the M177 to have a good BA engine and adding up with a turbocharged aspiration. And the handling turns out to be very impressive, and the speed is good to be taking on with some other European sports car, including with the Alfa Romeo Giulia GT-AM 2020 when you're racing at the Nürburgring National Alp on European Clubman Cup 600. So just have to go proceed in the 3rd sector. But it's about to go crowded on formation with my OCs to be racing up to have their own different sports car and tuner cars with UDRS InSportTech livery and Diamond Platinum variation, except J Reed Diamond as she's currently driving with a Porsche 911 Turbo S Type 992 2020. Got to get behind the wheel, and very well indeed to have a nice good look on the interior view when the dashboard is about to becoming very more different, just like the 3rd generation V8 Vantage S. So look closely by having a total of mileage when you're racing on a track. So I'm currently at in 1.8 miles, and first lap is well reserved to go for having a warm-up in session before proceed on to lap number 2. But I kind of think about the Vantage 2018 is a good kind of a 4th generation model to be outfit and designed to go on a race class prior to some different version, just like the GT4 counterpart and GTE Endurance class by the FIA World Endurance Championship, along with the other one, which is particularly to be take part of the Nürburgring 24 Hours Endurance. So it's about to be moving on in lap 2. Just have to keep it nice and tight, and Jay Reed is doing well to be stay in 5th place by overtake Cerulean in the Subaru Impreza Type R STI 1999. Turn 2 comes in. Got to get used to it. The handling looks so very well respond and very impressive, just like the 3rd gen model ever since they have some different facelift model like the 2010 and 2015 counterparts. But the speed is very much more awesome and the next big thing. Well, I kind of think about the turbocharge is quite very amazing to be outfit and see how it feels to go faster on straightaways. So it's about to go increase for the top speed by average and go down to be stopped by the range of 83 miles per hour before slow down on 4th sector. There's my beloved OC Lexia. She's on 2nd place, followed by J. Lee Diamond in 1st place on the Ferrari F430 2006. She took the fastest run by 1 minute, 54.056 seconds. But this will be a very good moment to have the Vantage 2018 to be put up and have a time attack to go rolling in session. Got to keep a good maintained pace and stable up to have a good motion on the main line. But it actually does having a good roll card to be placed up for the Vantage 2018. But you know, there are some different variants that related to the 4th gen model that has actually to be well placed up to be using as a safety car counterpart as seen from the Formula 1 event. But talk about having a good kind of popularity for Aston Martin when it comes to have a good special placement when it becomes as a safety car variant. But also yet, the first one is well exactly to have a good launch edition back from 2017 before the full production came out in the year 2018. So it's already in onto the final lap. Look at the fastest lap time, folks. I took by 1 minute 50.340 seconds when using the Vantage 2018 is perfect on the 4th gen example without being called by the name as the V8 Vantage. But everybody would like to call it the Vantage is the very good name. So it's about to get closer and total of mileage is about to go climb up into 6.2 miles. So time of day is 16:48 hours on the late afternoon. But almost to be on the dusk, just have to be finishing up on car test number 1 soon, and that will be a very good first hands-on impression when having a good perfect sports car to have one of the 3 new cars for the GT7 update on March 2025. But remember folks, you gotta get used to the Vantage 2018 is a good excellent kind of a turbocharged V8 engine, is well placed up to have a good courtesy to be part of the Aston Martin racing. Then here it comes to the final stretch. Let's bring it home and take it to the podium by having a good finish on 1st place. Now this is good luxury beautiful to be exactly to see the Vantage is about to be rolling in and bring out a lot of good acceleration by master on the corners to be take place around in Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. But after all, it's a good kind of a British sports car that has all kinds of good different features to be put up with the improved performance to be outfit on the turbocharged type. Now, as I took by 5 minutes, 39.569 seconds, and faster lap time is doing well Perfect Amaze by 1 minute, 43.973 seconds. But very well indeed and challenging to have some good European sports car, especially Arcadia just coming a long way to be finished in the top 3 position by ending up in 3rd. But much yet, I just spent some few other free time sessions on different racetrack on events as I just had to be proceed to the next day. Will put myself to go for a 3-car first hands-on impression after using with the 2018 Aston Martin Vantage is the first one is well checking up to have a nice normal custom race event. But I know, I'm really gonna be missing out all kinds of good best moments to be trying out with GT Sobi 2.1 on the PS5 version in GT7. As I went down to have some warm-up in session to go by a Tim in 16.5 miles, adding up by having a fresh one in 7.6 miles will be update and equals into 24.2 miles before received with a daily workout on the roulette ticket. So I'll have to go collect with 64,500 GT credit and moving on to have the replay to go for the captured thumbnail image. Got to go prefer to be around in 3 minutes and see how it turns out. Got to go close in and there you go. Much more impressive to have a good British sports car, and the Vantage is quite good amazing to have the same title of the B8 engine. But furthermore, by having one content replay saved to have car test number 1 and then car number 2 test, we'll be heading up to Tokyo Expressway. We'll be doing another round in the custom race by taking on in central clockwise. Folks, next up, custom race number 2 will go for the Mazda CX-30 X Smart Edition 2021. We'll be putting up to have some changes on the custom race test challenge. Got to load it up, and I'll have to be reassigned to have J Lee and J Reed Diamond to have some different sports cars to go for the Audi TTS Coupe 2014 and BMW C8 2001. But much more yet to be appreciated to have some changes on difficulty level to be set on intermediate. It's about to go saber and filled with a crossover SUV to master with the front engine. Front wheel drive will put up to the test in race number 2 on the custom challenge to see how it goes for only a sports car versus one SUV. Is going to be a very interesting moment as I'm purchasing on the sports medium compound tires on the early session. But let's see how it turns out, and go to the settings. Will be organized to have some very good look on the peak of the engine. So the engine model known as the HF-BBH-CX30. Very good type to have a Sky Active technology, will give a good kind of a different type of the engine. But I'll have to update by performance to go place up on the sports medium compound tires to be updated into 462.25 performance points. That should do very well and drive safely. This is about to get a little bit more crowded to be racing on the urban city highway, just like you're about to be driving on the open road.